UFO is usually considered as an unearthly spacecraft. People suppose that this crescent-shaped aircraft is piloted by aliens and they try to invade the planet Earth. But this is all a huge controversy. Scientists are constantly studying and working on the UFO phenomenon, and they have not found an authentic resource yet. But it has been proven by astrologists that aliens exist and they might invade our planet Earth one day. It is very frightening to comprehend because some other species would be ruling on us and we will live in slavery. This concept is several times presented by different movie producers in their movies, so somewhere in our heads we have admitted that other planets are inhabited by aliens. Their morph and form are still unknown to humans because no evidence is presented yet. But if it would be true, with the technology advancements, maybe we will be able to find out. Many times UFOs have been caught attention of the local people, and it was said that a giant beam in the shape of a spacecraft appeared on the sky. UFO is supposedly called as alien spacecraft which does not belong to the planet Earth. UFO sightings have been reported multiple times in different places of the world, which raises the question, has ET visited the planet Earth? Are there any aliens present on other planets? If yes, how do they look? In this video, we would be talking about the history of UFO sightings and how many times they have been reported. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Before we start our video, do subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more videos. Flying saucer. On June the 24th, 1947, it was claimed by Kenneth Arnold that he saw a bunch of flying objects in the sky. This businessman was riding his plane and in the broad daylight saw these crescent-shaped objects which were moving with a very high speed. This was the first claim ever made about seeing the UFO near Earth, and it was reported in the newspaper. It rose the question that what type of life exists on other planets because there is no oxygen on any planet other than Earth. So obviously the life on other planets doesn't breathe in oxygen. So who are they? The Roswell UFO incident. Following the incident of Kenneth Arnold, another weird incident happened in 1950s when rancher W.W. came across a massive wreckage of saucer-shaped ships. It was near an army field in Roswell, New Mexico. Different controversies started airing about the UFO landing on Earth. Later, some latex objects and aluminum objects were also fell from the sky, which locals believed as skin and bone of aliens and extraterrestrial beings. Some people say that these were hidden Soviet aircrafts. Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book was initiated to identify the sightings and to know the fact that either they are Soviet aircraft or actual spaceship UFOs. It was worked from 1952 to 1969. There were more than 12,000 events that showed different sightings of objects which were unidentified by human beings. But still it remains a mystery that those objects were UFOs or Soviet aircrafts. The Robertson Panel and the Condon Report. The UFO phenomenon was being investigated and several series spiked the idea of these crescent-shaped objects to be some extraterrestrial spacecraft. The CIA was involved in this and they asked the American scientists to investigate the phenomenon. Robertson was the physicist who was working with another physicist and rocket astronomer. They reviewed all the other previous videos and photographs of UFOs who were ever seen on the sky. They concluded that it was some meteoroids and asteroids or other objects which were not invading the Earth and were no threat to planet. Area 51. In 1950 and 1960, there were UFOs seen near the Area 51 in Nevada. In the Cold War, people were convinced that it is a spy plane rocketed by Soviet Union so that it remains undetectable. There were many rumors flying about these ET beings and spacecrafts. SR-71 Blackbird. SR-71 Blackbird and Archangel 12 were planes made to spy and they were undetectable. They used to travel at a speed of 2,000 miles an hour. They were so fast that it used to seem like they were some extraordinary objects and people were convinced that these objects were UFOs. J. Allen Hynek. He was an astronomer who was involved in Project Sign and Blue Book. He was convinced that those fragments were presence of extraterrestrial beings on Earth. He was from Northwestern University in Evanston. He put the foundation for the Center for UFO Studies to study the UFO phenomenon. Another project in Canada. In 1968, data about UFO sightings were transferred from Canadian Department of National Defence to Canadian Research Council. They recorded 750 sightings of UFO. Other than that, there are also continuous researches in United States, Greece, Europe. In the United States, the organizations of CUFOS and Mutual UFO Network, they continue to work and record the sightings. The studies on UFO phenomenon are still continued. Soviet Union sightings. The Soviet Union often fabricated their own personal spacecraft as extraterrestrial spacecraft and led the public believe that they were invasion from aliens by their false reports and fake news. It was their own aircraft made to spy during the Cold War. UFO sightings in China. The UFO sightings were also reported in China, which are also provoked by military. A person from China claimed that he was abducted by aliens and he was taken in the spacecraft. Later, he even stated that he was shown their town in Mars. But these claims are not supported, and soon people starting to disbelieve him. The presence of UFO is still not authenticated because there is no actual evidence of any such phenomenon. Scientists are still searching for the evidence for it, but the fact is still unknown.